How you see reality may be affected by the assumptions and views you hold. This idea, which is called the self-fulfilling prophecy, says that the things you think have a big effect on your life and future. You can look into how your beliefs and ideas can have a big effect on your life. Find out how to use this psychological effect to your advantage in real life. This recording gives clear examples and studies to show how self-fulfilling predictions affect different parts of life, like money, health, and relationships. The book looks at how expectations and confirmation bias affect reality and gives useful information and useful ways to stop thinking negatively, develop positive beliefs, and actively create the worlds you want. The idea that our thoughts shape our reality is explored in this audiobook. You will understand the strong forces that affect your life better and learn useful ways to make your thoughts and beliefs match your goals by the end of this book. To improve your relationships, reach your goals, and improve your health, you will learn how to use the power of self-fulfilling prophecy. Learn the first lesson: how to spot a self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling predictions happen all the time, but we don't always notice them. How can you tell if your thoughts and actions are being affected by a self-fulfilling belief? One sign is when the results constantly back up your first assumptions, even if those assumptions didn't seem likely at first. When you did something that made you think something unusual would happen and it did, you may have experienced a self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling views can last a long time, even when there is evidence to the contrary. When we have confirmation bias, we only pay attention to information that backs up what we already believe and ignore information that goes against what we already believe. Negative ruminating can be a sign of a self-fulfilling negative attitude. Focusing on the bad things we imagine happening changes how we feel and how we act. Your thoughts can change the course of your life. Labeling someone or something seems to change reality, like in the Pygmalion effect, which is another sign. When you believe in someone, they can do great things, but when you question them, they can't. A constant lack of trust or a bad view on the future can become a reality in harmful relationships. When you're at work, having questions about your skills can really hurt your results. Because our actions are shaped by our expectations, which in turn produce the results we expect, self-fulfilling views ultimately continue. The first step to getting out of negative self-fulfilling loops and using the amazing potential of this psychology is to become aware of these patterns. We can get things done in a new way if we look at them from a different angle. Self-fulfilling prophecy is the idea that what we believe can influence what happens in our lives. Basically, because our ideas shape what we do and what we expect, what we think is true often turns out to be true. This happens all the time in our lives, for better or worse. Beliefs shape how we see the world and how we think things will go in the future. These assumptions affect how we act, what we do, and how we react. The results of those actions increase our original belief, causing a circle of self-perpetuation. If we really believe we can succeed, we will easily do things that help us do well, which supports our original view. But if we think negatively and believe we will fail, our actions will usually match that belief, which will lead to failure in the end. Both good and bad, self-fulfilling predictions can result from our views. Labels help us see the world from a certain point of view. If a teacher sees that a student has special skills, they will give that student the help and direction they need to develop those skills. But when teachers think a student can't be taught, they may not try as hard, which can make the student less motivated. When you have doubts about your partner's commitment, it can hurt your relationship and cause loyalty to drop. Basically, the things that happen to us are based on what we believe. The things we expect from each day have an effect on our future, not something that is set in stone. We can choose to adopt powerful viewpoints and create our own fulfilling tales by being aware of the effects of our beliefs. We create our own reality with the ideas we hold. Marcus bounced the ball quickly as he waited for his turn to do skills at the high school basketball tryout. Even though he really liked basketball, he had never been able to get on the team. Marcus looked at the coaches, but they didn't say anything. Marcus knew that the trainers probably knew him from other tests that didn't go well. He thought they were sure they wouldn't make the cut again this year. It felt like Marcus didn't belong, which made him uncomfortable. Marcus could feel the teacher's close, watchful eyes on him as he took the court for his turn at shot drills. During the practice, he tripped over his own feet and had trouble making shots. Marcus didn't touch the ball very much because he wanted to play it safe and avoid any possible risks. With each mistake, he got a better idea of how the teachers saw him. The teachers quickly let go of some boys after tryouts without giving any reason. A spark of hope appeared in Marcus when he wasn't cut right away. But Marcus's head coach quickly called him over and told him straight out that he needed to keep working on his game for the next year. Marcus was sad when he left the gym, and he slowly realized that his own beliefs had led him to meet the coach's standards. He didn't believe in himself anymore, and by playing without any faith, he proved that they were right. Marcus was set on making things different next year, though. He decided to ignore the bad predictions and instead went into the situation with courage and confidence. The second lesson is about how self-fulfilling prophecies work. One event that perfectly shows this idea is when people run out of money at banks. When word gets out that a bank might fail, people who are afraid quickly take their money out. This large number of withdrawals could use up all of the bank's funds, leaving it bankrupt. A self-fulfilling prophecy is often what causes banks to fail, the fear they cause. Rats were used in a cognitive psychology experiment to figure out how to get through a maze. It turned out that the rats in one group were calmer and learned the maze faster, which was what the team thought would happen. On the other hand, rats that didn't get much attention acted aggressively, which backed the idea that they were hard to train. During World War II, the British air defense was greatly improved by the progress made in radar technology. News started to spread, though, about a strange secret weapon that was said to be keeping London safe. The Luftwaffe avoided London because of this myth, which supported the idea that beliefs shape reality. In relationships, feeling insecure can lead to bad things happening. People who are suspicious of their partners often question and blame them, which can hurt trust and make the other person want to stay away. There is a prophecy of infidelity that keeps the act of cheating going. When used in different scenarios, self-fulfilling ideas work in similar ways. Figuring out how goals, views, actions, and outcomes are linked can help you learn a lot. The first step to changing negative statements and making positive stories is to understand how assumptions affect our reality. Third lesson: know what you want and think you have it or will get it. When it comes to getting what you want, having a clear and strong mind is one of the most important things you can do. The psychology of self-fulfilling prophecy works in your favor if you know exactly what you want and are sure that you will get it. By describing what you want and picturing yourself already having it, you plant the expectations that will affect how you think, feel, and act. When you're focused, you can see chances to make your goal come true and take them with confidence. Each step strengthens your belief, which makes you move forward. Problems are not reasons to give up. They are just a part of the trip. This unwavering confidence drives you to keep going and be creative, which brings people and resources to your goal. Your confidence can make other people feel the same way. Doubt and fuzzy vision only make problems more likely, while strong belief scares them away. Of course, combining belief with freedom lets you fine-tune your methods while staying focused on the end goal. Sticking to a rigid road takes your eyes off the prize. Faith that is flexible, on the other hand, lets you change without losing sight of the goal. One of the most powerful ways to create any wish is to know exactly what you want and firmly believe that you already have it. You can write a self-fulfilling prophecy where focus and action work together to reach your goals if you believe in them and are willing to change. The future you imagine gets bigger to fit you. Being clear about what you really want is very important, and you should never settle for less. Giving clear instructions and avoiding getting comfortable can help people stay focused and motivated. As for how things come about, knowing our thoughts and ideas helps us figure out what drives us and how things work. First and foremost, you should know how valuable you are and stick to your goal. Most of the time, choosing to accept less is caused by having wrong ideas about what you deserve or what you can do. You do, however, have full power over your future. Set standards that are in line with your ideals and stick to them. Outside forces may make you want certain things, but only you can find your true self by looking within. Make it a habit to look over your goals often to make sure they still excite and drive you. Ambition can drive you, but going after goals that aren't real can make you lose motivation. Taking care of your mind is just as important. Thoughts and ideas are the building blocks of experiences. The things we experience are directly affected by the way we think. It's common for bad things to happen when we think negatively. On the other hand, having positive thoughts can help us find chances. Mindfulness makes us aware of our thinking, which helps us see how our points of view affect how we see things. Find any bad points of view and change them with positive ones. When you know yourself better, you can turn your negative thoughts in a more positive way. Knowing your own worth is important for getting through life. Make your wants and needs clear, avoid getting too relaxed, and take charge of your thought processes. These habits help you have living situations that are in line with your greatest goals. You can change your own fate if you go through life with focus and purpose. Following her college graduation, Anita had a hard time finding a job that she really loved. She went from one office job to the next, making money but never being happy with her work. Anita had a clear idea of what she wanted to do for a living, though. She wanted to be a graphic artist for a well-known sports brand. When an interesting design job opened up, Anita's friends would often say how hard it seemed for her to apply. But Anita didn't listen to their advice. She had a clear picture of what she wanted to achieve and full faith that she could. With hard work and persistence, Anita used her free time to make an amazing resume that showed off her unique style and ability to change. She excitedly chased every design chance that fit her vision, even if they didn't seem like a good fit on paper. When she was in interviews, Anita was very excited and sure of herself. Even though she was turned down many times, she saw each application as a chance to improve, and she stayed determined to do so. Anita finally got an interview at her dream company after months of hard work. She was sure of her worth and abilities and stepped into her job with confidence. She got the job offer after a week. She looked around the design office and took a big breath. She worked hard and was finally here at her introduction. Her hard work paid off, showing that she believed in her goal. She was excited to do well in this job, which she had always thought was a great fit for her unique skills. Anita kept telling herself that she needed to be clear about what she wanted and have faith in herself, that everything would work out. Lesson 4. What you expect affects how you act. What you think about can affect your reality. This is called self-fulfilling prophecy. This process starts when our ideas make us expect things that change how we see things. These assumptions have clear effects on how we act and what we do. When we believe that something will happen or that someone will act in a certain way, we expect it to happen. This changes how we see things, what we notice, and how we make sense of unknowns. Our assumptions shape how we see things and how we act. A lot of the time, our acts show what we believe, and sometimes we don't even know it. We ask questions, make decisions, and act in ways that are in line with what we really believe. For example, if a teacher wants a student to do well, they might get them more involved in class, give them leadership roles, and praise their work. Because they believe this, they expect the student to have special skills, which leads to helpful behavior. The student meets the task and does well, which supports the first view. Still, having low standards can make people do things that stop them from reaching their full potential. Thoughts that are already formed can make it hard to see the truth clearly. We have control over self-fulfilling predictions when we understand how our views affect what we expect and how our actions are affected by those expectations. The decisions we make are based on our thoughts, not on what will happen. Changing the way we think about things can help us reach bigger goals. The idea of self-fulfilling prophecy shows how our views affect what happens by making us expect things to happen and act in certain ways. Until we examine the results, we frequently miss self-perpetuating trends. When things don't go as planned, it's often because of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Results that may seem strange can be traced back to the actions we took based on our first thoughts and beliefs. Take the example of a business boss who is sure that a project will fail. Because of this, they make choices that hurt the project in the end. They give out fewer resources, hire people who aren't motivated, set a date for firing people, and keep track of problems. As expected, the project produces disappointing results, which adds to the feeling that it failed. Believing that your partner is not reliable can become a reality in relationships. When you ask too many questions and make charges, the other person may pull away, which could even lead to the betrayal that you are afraid of. The belief led to betrayal because of what people expected to happen. When we are humble about our actions and reasons for doing them, we often find secret forces that shape our lives. When we blame other people or things, we often hide our own part. Changing self-defeating stories is possible if we know the right order of thought, intention, action, and result. The results are not a sign of fate, but of how views show up in behavior. With a new point of view, things turn out differently. Fifth lesson, your faith in love. When it comes to relationships, self-fulfilling prophecy can have a big effect. How we feel about our partners and the future of our relationships can have a big effect on how we act and what we think. For example, the idea that a partner will lose interest over time. A self-fulfilling prophecy based on this idea could actually occur. Feeling unsure all the time can make you protective, say mean things about commitment, and do sneaky things to hurt someone. The partner might start to doubt the relationship and feel like they can't trust the other person, which can start a bad loop. On the other hand, being sure that a relationship will last boosts feelings of safety, openness, and dedication. Both sides feel like they are important and react in the same way. Having the idea of ongoing love helps people build relationships that last. Reality is significantly shaped by one's beliefs about a partner. Not only do views about the relationship itself affect how people act, but also the idea that the other person is not dependable or worthy. There is a lack of trust and respect, which hurts the connection. When we believe that someone is good by nature, it makes us more caring and kind. Changing your point of view can definitely stop damaging self-fulfilling prophecies from coming true. You can learn more about your own views by focusing on the good things about your partner, dealing with any fears, and being honest and sincere. Knowing the power of knowledge can change relationships, making them less likely to fall into bad habits and more able to make their hopes come true. Maya and Adil had been together for more than a year and were very happy together. But as time went on, Adil worried more and more that Maya might lose interest and break up with him. Every time she seemed busy or detached, he was afraid that her feelings for him were fading. Adil started to look for confirmation about Maya's feelings more often. He became grumpy and sure that small fights would cause her to break up with him. He made sure to be there for Maya whenever she called, even if it meant leaving plans with friends. At first, Maya gave Adil the comfort he was looking for because she thought it would only last for a short time. But his constant need to be approved of got old. She hated always having to show how much she loved him. Adil made fun of Maya when she wanted to spend some nights with her friends without him. At the first sign of freedom, his fear that Maya would leave him for good grew. As time went on, Maya got tired of having to deal with Adil's constant fear. His worries kept getting in the way of their relationship, which slowly got worse. It wasn't romantic or exciting for her to be around him anymore. She found him more boring than comfortable. As a way to get a fresh viewpoint and maybe fix their relationship, Maya called out to Adil and asked for some time apart. Adil was shocked and heartbroken when he realized that his strong fear of losing Maya had caused the very thing he feared the most to happen. He killed their once beautiful relationship by holding on too tight without meaning to. After his painful breakup with Maya, Adil was determined to learn from his mistakes. He realized that his feelings of insecurity had made the relationship worse. He knew that he had to deal with and change his self-limiting belief in order to move forward with Maya or anyone else. Adil started writing in a book to help him figure out why he was thinking badly. He wrote nice things about himself and stuck them on his mirror to remember himself. When his thoughts started to wander, he worked hard to replace his questions with logical points of view. He got back in touch with old friends and found new things he loved. Adil found comfort and a sense of self-worth by doing things that made him feel good about himself and gave him a sense of purpose after years of being alone. After some time spent working on himself, Adil was ready to try to make things right with Maya again. He wrote her an email saying that he was sorry for how his fear had hurt their relationship. Adil suggested that we get together and take things at a relaxed pace. He was looking for a chance to show Maya that he had changed significantly. Maya agreed to meet Adil again, but only on the spot. At first she was wary, but she quickly saw that Adil seemed calm and trustworthy. He said he was sorry for being so dependent on her before and listened carefully as Maya spilled her anger. Maya saw that Adil really had changed. She decided to give the relationship another try as they spent more time together. The chance that had been given to Adil made him feel incredibly grateful. A good thing happened because Adil believed in himself and his ability to change. He finally gained confidence in himself and felt safe working with Maya after solving a number of problems. Lesson 6. What you think about money and wealth. What we do shows what we think about money and how easy it is to get. Instead of investing money, taking chances, or learning about money, we stay away from those things. We miss chances or don't take advantage of them when they come up. Our main focus is on smaller purchases, ensuring that profits are reliable. Our assumption that money problems would happen leads to more money problems. Still, having a wealth attitude about money starts a good loop. When we believe in our ability to gain and see chances everywhere, our actions fall into place on their own. We work hard to be successful, make smart investments, and face problems head-on. This leads to more and more money being saved, which confirms our hope for success. Believing that we can't handle money well can also stop us from succeeding. Uncertainty can make people make bad financial choices or not decide what to do. When we see ourselves as skilled guardians of wealth, we can handle our money wisely, which leads to even more wealth. Basically, money makes core views stronger. If you think about lack, you'll probably experience lack. But if you think about abundance, you can draw abundance. Your fortune is not based on wild chance, but on how valuable and capable you are as a person. We have power over our financial results when we understand and change the way we think about money. Tom always thought that people like him, who come from poor families and don't have many powerful ties, don't get very rich. As a clerk, he worked long hours and just barely made ends meet. He thought that going to college or starting a business would be pointless because he didn't have enough money. Alex, one of Tom's friends, invited him to a financial lecture one day. Tom reluctantly decided to go, even though he wasn't sure he wanted to learn about money at first. He got more and more irritated as they talked about stocks, real estate, and owning a business. Later, Alex talked about a famous businessman who came from a similar background to Tom's. Tom started to wonder if what he thought about money was true. He thought for the first time that he might have unused talent that he could have used. To get motivated, Tom started reading books on money and looking into possible side businesses. He began to put money away and play with it in small ways. Tom was able to save money over time, and his projects began to bring in more money. He became more and more excited about money. Tom's different projects had grown into a successful job after a few years. After having a successful charity dinner, Tom smiled as he looked around his large home. He felt relieved that he had avoided something that could have cost him a lot of money. He also understood that he would not be poor. The chance was always there, just waiting for him to get over his fears and take a brave step forward. The 7th lesson is about your beliefs about health and wellness. What we think and expect about our health and well-being can have a big effect on our bodies. We are more likely to make smart choices and get past problems when our minds are on our goals. Certain behaviors, like not being active, eating poorly, and skipping medical care, can happen when we feel like we are easily getting sick or weak. We let sickness and weakness happen, which makes our bad health prospects even worse. Positive views about health, on the other hand, push people to act. We are more likely to do good things when we think of ourselves as full of energy, strength, and drive. We put a high value on living a healthy life by eating well, staying busy, dealing with stress well, and taking responsibility for our health. We live up to those standards with a sense of health and energy. The placebo effect is another example of how what we think can affect how well we feel. It is common for patients to have physical reactions to treatments, even when they think that the treatment will be helpful. Even if the treatment doesn't work, the hope alone can start the healing process. As you might expect, a fair view that takes into account reality is best. To understand and take care of our health, we need to be aware of our present limits and think about the things we could do in the future. When we change our goals and actions with awareness, we can make huge improvements in our health. There is a big effect on our general health when we understand how our views about health affect what we do. Accepting our inner strength can help us think positively, form good habits, and find the drive to improve our general health. Understanding and taking care of your health is a simple idea that is easy to realize. Lesson 8. Self-imposed predictions and other imposed prophecies. Self-fulfilling predictions can come from inside us or be caused by outside forces. Self-imposed predictions come from our strong beliefs and what we think will happen. Prophecies that are forced on us are often affected by things outside of our control. Both of these things have a big effect on how we see the world. Our self-made predictions show what we believe, sometimes without even realizing it. For example, if you think you're not smart enough to be successful, that thought can make you less driven and determined, which can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is similar to how we can reach our goals if we set high standards for ourselves and work hard. Our self-fulfillment can also be significantly impacted by the ideas that others hold about us. We develop our sense of self and our skills based on what our parents, school, and society expect of us. For instance, study shows that students who are labeled as smart do well in school, while students who are labeled as slow or disruptive often do well because of how their teachers treat them differently. Biases in the workplace can make it harder for people to succeed and move up in their careers. It makes sense that the results of predictions made by other people depend on how much we believe in them. When we take other people's bad views at face value, it can make us feel helpless. Still, questioning unrealistic standards may help someone keep their independence. Being self-confident and humble at the same time helps us deal with other people's ideas in a smart way. Being around people who believe in us and share our big goals helps us avoid being affected by bad statements from other people. Our self-perceptions greatly influence how our lives turn out. When our deepest views are in line with our high standards and good deeds, we have the power to create our own reality by acting on our goals. How to avoid negative self-fulfilling prophecies. Self-fulfilling prophecies happen when our views hold us back and cause us to act and experience bad things. Some things you can do to break bad habits and stop hurting yourself are listed below. As bad thoughts come up, pay attention to them. Pay attention to how you always talk about things negatively and critically of yourself. Take the time to consciously change your attitude to one that is more positive. Avoid dwelling on the worst possible results, and instead think about the better ones. It's good to have a plan for when bad things happen, but thinking about them all the time can make them more likely by making it harder to think straight. Keep a good attitude and get ready. Be careful not to fall for confirmation bias. Instead of only looking for proof that backs up your bad opinions, you might want to take a more fair approach. Make sure you actively look for information that might go against what you think you know. Put yourself around people who will support you, who will see how capable you are, and who will share your high goals. Their high hopes will make you feel good. Limit your time spent with bad people. No matter how small it may seem, take a moment to recognize and respect what you've done well. Progress fights the idea that you are not good enough. Move forward with confidence, as if your good goal were already a reality. Keep an open mind and keep moving forward with unwavering desire. In the end, the findings back up your hopeful attitude. Spend some time being kind, caring, and holding yourself to the same high standards that you would expect from your loved ones. You bring into your life what you think about. Mindfulness practiced regularly can help people let go of bad beliefs over time. Taking action that is in line with your values will make you feel good about yourself and give you power. Make your big dreams a reality by setting them. When you're depressed, you might think negatively over and over again, which can keep you going downhill. When you're depressed, your thoughts can make you act and experience things that make you feel even worse. People who are depressed often think about bad things over and over again, like worst-case scenarios, mistakes, and feelings of not being good enough. Inactivity, withdrawal, and not taking care of oneself keep this loop going, which makes people feel even more alone and down. Depression can also happen when you have too high of hopes for something that doesn't fully materialize. When you try to be perfect, and it seems impossible to achieve, you may become very hard on yourself all the time. Putting the blame on ourselves can make us even less motivated. When people are sad, they might also avoid settings where they don't think they will succeed. This means they miss out on chances to do something, and show their negative thoughts they are wrong. Trying to avoid loss makes it more likely that it will happen. Still, even though depressed predictions may feel like they are definitely true, we can question their accuracy. We can easily and clearly see our own thinking and choose to include different points of view. Taking on smaller jobs at first can help you feel more confident. Depression sufferers can change their bad thought habits with the help of counseling. Medication may be needed to keep feelings stable. Support from other people can give you a sense of connection and perspective, which can really help when you feel alone and like you're thinking too much. It is important to become more aware and question negative ideas and expectations if we want to break out of the loops of sadness. We can make up new stories that motivate and question old beliefs, which can lead to new options beyond the limits of despair. Lesson 10. Getting out of self-fulfilling loops. Self-fulfilling predictions continue when we are unaware of how our limited beliefs keep bad loops going. The first step in changing self-defeating habits is to become aware of harmful self-fulfilling forces. Give yourself a moment to think about the areas where you often fail or run into problems, even though you try your best. Think about how your preconceived ideas might be holding you back without you realizing it. Are you able to explain problems by using things like personal skills or abilities? How often do you find yourself focusing on your flaws and problems? Close your eyes and pay more attention to your feelings and unconscious thoughts. Pay attention to times when your mind quickly comes up with bad ideas or conclusions. These predictions show how the things you do and the decisions you make can affect what happens. Also, it's important to keep an eye out and notice when the results don't match up with what's really going on. If you keep having bad things happen to you or being treated badly by others, it could mean that your views are skewed because of negative assumptions. It's possible that reality is more tolerant than what you see. Know that having skewed views can change how you see the truth. You should think about how past events or stress can affect predictions that keep happening even when they are no longer true. Your future doesn't have to be like your past. A self-fulfilling loop is easier to deal with once you know what it is. Self-defeating habits are less powerful when you recognize and question them. When you understand something, you can change your views and go after more powerful goals that are in line with your true potential. Having a growing attitude is important for getting past the limits you put on yourself. People with a rigid attitude think that their skills don't change, so they avoid difficulties. The growth mindset, on the other hand, says that we can improve our skills by working at them, which gives us the power to make changes. The fixed mindset makes negative self-fulfilling beliefs stronger. This can cause you to think things like, "I'm not talented and I always fail," which makes you less motivated and more satisfied. Most of the time, setbacks make us feel bad about ourselves instead of teaching us how we can do better. People with a growth attitude, on the other hand, see loss as a chance to learn something. It is emphasized that work and new ideas are more important than natural ability alone. As time goes on, progress is expected, not a surprise. This helps people have the drive and flexibility that are needed to make good predictions come true. People's attitudes need to be changed all the time, which makes gloomy predictions useless. If you have a growth attitude, you expect to succeed by working hard. People can still have hope, and it can come true if they do something. There will be progress. Rhea thought it would be hard to go to work every day. She frequently felt unnoticed during team meetings as a young employee and had herself assigned to boring tasks. She thought that her boss and co-workers thought she was inexperienced and lacked confidence. Rhea noticed that her co-workers often talked over or stopped her when she was presenting her ideas. As time went on, she spoke less and less, becoming less noticeable. Rhea soon found herself working on small projects, which made her feel even worse about not being given bigger tasks. Someone who knows Rhea well noticed that she had changed a lot in the last few months. As a result of making wrong assumptions about what her coworkers thought, she asked Rhea if she was aware of the possible outcomes of her actions. Rhea slowly learned what was really going on. Overly critical reactions were something she often saw, and she often thought they were insults and disrespect when they weren't. Getting out of the loop wasn't hard, but her bad attitude made it harder. Rhea volunteered to be in charge of the next team project right away, and she brought a new point of view to the table. Even though she was hesitant at first, her boss praised how well she managed the job. Ria was driven to keep looking for ways to show off her skills. Over time, Ria took on more responsibility and won more respect. When she let go of the limits she had set for herself, her work took off. In the end, she understood that the only limits were the ones she had set for herself. Ria promised that she would deal with unfair ideas and actively fight against bad predictions instead of letting them stay true. Setting yourself up to succeed. Lesson 11. Knowing how bad self-fulfilling predictions work can help us change the way we think to improve ourselves and achieve our goals. Building up good self-fulfilling ideas can help you succeed in a big way. If you want to use self-fulfilling prophecy on purpose, you need to be very clear about what you want to happen. Think about reaching your goals as if you had already done it. Remember this goal and act in line with it, ignoring anything that might get in the way. Others will be drawn to your idea if you go after your goals with confidence and determination. Take measured chances and don't give up when things get tough. Don't let failures stop you. Instead, see them as chances to improve your plans. Also, practice picturing what you want to happen. Many athletes picture themselves winning before they even start their games. Visualization can help improve brain patterns that cause people to take actions that lead to the results they want. Realizing that hopes alone don't make dreams come true, it's important to believe in yourself and act strategically. This mixture guides you to deal with problems and make decisions that are in line with your values. Create a strong set of beliefs and then do something to make your dreams come true. When thoughts and deeds come together, the future becomes clear. For people to be successful, they need to make patterns that can last. Building good energy is important for maximum growth, but no single action can ensure success. Building on past successes leads to even more success. Small wins, even ones that don't seem important, can boost your drive and confidence in your skills. Take a moment to notice and be thankful for the little steps you've taken forward. Every step forward makes the next ones easier. Set up daily habits and environments that help you keep a happy attitude. Getting enough rest, staying active, eating well, and practicing mindfulness can all help you keep your mood and energy levels in check. Making settings that are positive can help you stay organized and motivated. You should set aside specific times to plan and think about your goals. Seeing yourself succeeding in the future makes you more sure that it will happen. Make plans that are clear and doable to make your thoughts come to life. Pay close attention to any new chances that come your way and act quickly to make the most of them. Take advantage of the chances that come your way. Having an open mind can lead to good things happening. Having a steady plan of action will help you stay grounded during tough times, even if you face problems. Overcoming problems makes you stronger on the inside. Focusing on going forward all the time leads to success that isn't left up to chance but is the result of hard work. After the work, understanding comes. Self-fulfilling prophecy is the last lesson. We hope you feel stronger now that we've finished talking about the power of self-fulfilling prophecy. Now that you know how your beliefs show up in the form of hopes and actions, you can control this situation on purpose. The future is not set in stone. It can change. Beliefs we hold deep inside shape how we see and deal with the world, which in turn shapes our self-fulfilling prophecies. We can choose views that are in line with truth and good values, let go of narrow points of view, and bravely go after self-fulfilling predictions that make us and those around us happy and inspired. Keep paying attention to what you think and what you believe. Look at your bad ideas before they become strong habits. Rewrite your story with yourself in mind. Put yourself around smart people who will respect your talent. The people who have hope and act will continue to learn, grow, and make progress. You can now handle any situation by keeping your mind on the task at hand and acting with determination. Any big dream you have can become a reality with your help. You have the ability to create the reality of your future.